Hey guys, let's talk more efficient and effective running skill. So three main premises that we talk about when we talk about introduction to running as a skill. The first one is your positioning. Do you have the position? Can you maintain proper position? The second one is teaching you to lean, and the third one is teaching you to pull. So three basic concepts, not the easiest to implement, but from there, if we can understand the positioning, the lean and the pull, then we can kind of address some things. So some common errors. I just got done with a private training session. We're working on some running as a skill. Got someone who has a goal of a 5K, building up to it, and specifically actually getting a better time than they have in the past. And we're looking at some running errors. So you have the classic like K from the side, the letter K, bend at the waist. We don't want to bend at the waist. We want to lean and have that lean at the ankle. Landing in the front, you're braking, so that front foot is getting out in the front. It's basically stopping you, or at least slowing you down, and you're not utilizing that momentum. Landing on the heel, where you're not utilizing the arch that you have and all the musculature and the ligaments and the tendons in the foot to help kind of propel you forward. Landing on a straight leg, get a knee load. Shoot, gosh, ankle, knee, hip, back. Definitely don't ever want to land on a straight leg. Pushing off in the back, that's creating a lever. Also, we see that with just the prolonged contraction. So yeah, foot on the ground, too long, prolonged contraction. How do we, little quick notes, how do we get rid of that? Instead of bending at the waist, we went midline stable. We're gonna do our basic strength and conditioning stuff that we normally do to help maintain that. That's your general physical preparedness. We can also, the couple cues would be like, hey, imagine that when you're running, you have a truck in front of you that's pulling your belt. Like you have a big old belt buckle and there's a string attached to it or a rope. Someone's pulling you from the belt. That keeps you a little bit taller. Most of our folks have a tendency to like look down. And then instead of looking down and bending at the waist, you got the belt buckle, then you have looking out at the horizon. Instead of landing in the front when you're braking, you want the foot straight up and down. You want a hamstring pull, not necessarily hip flexor pull. And you want to have that faster rate of turnover, higher cadence. Don't land on the heel. Don't land with a straight leg. Pushing off in the back. A lot of these things, we didn't really get into much metronome work today, but sometimes we'll hook you up with the metronome and the beep, 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 super annoying, but it helps to create a higher cadence, a faster cadence, somewhere above like 90, 95, 100 beats per minute. This is just a brief overview of some of the basics of running technique and running as a skill. Hopefully this helps. Implement it. I would say one word of caution: if you are going to implement these kind of concepts, that you start off real easy. If you're putting in like mileage anywhere over like 10, 20, 30 miles a week, anything over 10 miles a week with your running, don't start implementing these with all 10 of your miles. I'd say maybe about 20% of your miles. We have specific skills and drills that we'll do for running. They're the best time to practice that. And then maybe with like some 100, 200, 400 meter repeats, we'll implement that for the first 6 weeks. But I would love for you to try to utilize this in your training practice. Just don't go overboard at first. Reach out to me if you need any help. Thanks.